Hello.
And welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted a dramatic introduction. Uh, Welcome to JNT.
Why?
That's how it be. Because that's how it be, Tyler. That's how it be. But this is
Okay.
episode 8
But why?
because why not? You gotta have you gotta change it up sometimes,
Okay,
man.
whatever.
You gotta change it up sometimes. Anyways,
Fine, I guess. If you
dude,
want to be that way.
you are on such a delay right now. Like I say something and it takes like 5 seconds for you to say something back.
It's that bad.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, it was
Oh my gosh, that's bad.
we made do with it. Like, yeah, it's all good. Anyways,
Okay, see how this goes then.
yeah. Anyways, um, today we are listening to Tyler talk about a traumatic work experience. Woo!
Inexperience?
Yeah. I don't
Did you
know.
say inexperience?
No, a traumatic work
I think you
experience.
said inexperience.
I did,
Yeah, I think you said inexperience the first
I
time.
mean, maybe I wasn't trying to.
I'm experienced, okay?
You are you experienced?
Oh boy. Yes. But this job wasn't.
Ah, yeah.
So, so I worked at Culver's for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, but it felt like 5 months. And this job, so I went in to, I actually applied, and like that day or the next day, I got a interview. So I went in, I dressed nice, like you're supposed to, and stuff like that. Um, And my family and stuff, we would always go there um, to have food and stuff like that a lot. Like at least once a week, probably at this point. Um, yeah, it was a lot. Um, so I pretty much knew the store pretty well. And he said, by the end of the interview, he said he'll call me uh, to let me know what the decision is. And he called me like as soon as I got back home, saying, "You got the job." And that should have been flag number one because they are short staffed.
Wow.
He actually said in the phone call if I could come in that day to do training videos.
Wait, hold up. So you went in for the interview,
Yes.
and then he sent you home and was like, "Come right back."
Yes.
Oh my
But I didn't come
gosh.
right back. I said no, and I'll
Oh,
come back tomorrow.
oh no.
I said I couldn't do it that night, so I'll come in tomorrow to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And I was being trained for the kitchen, which I didn't want to do at all.
Ugh.
Uh, I don't have good experience with being in a kitchen at all. I mean, I can cook, but I don't like the atmosphere of a kitchen and stuff like that, especially in a restaurant. I don't
Yeah.
mind it at home. Um,
Bro, the kitchen's
but
great. Yeah,
I
at
went
home.
in, I do the training
Sorry.
at home, yeah, because there's food that you can eat.
Exactly.
This you
Like
can't eat.
you just like walk over to the fridge
So I
and just
go
pull.
in, yeah, it's awesome. But I'm going for the training videos, which suck, by the way. Like, you can't do a whole lot. You just sit there for like, I think it was my entire shift, like 5 hours maybe, doing the videos. And the manager would come in to check on me and stuff. And when I left, you could already smell like the grease and stuff. So the next day I went in and I was in the kitchen being trained on the fryer. And if you don't know anything about a fryer, it gets very hot. And
Yeah.
you have the fridge right behind you with like the cheese curds, the chicken, the stuff, all that stuff. And then you have right beside you the fish. And when it comes to the fish, every time you do a fish, you have to change out your gloves. And when you're in the kitchen, you have all the noises of a normal kitchen, along with people that are ordering. So when people order, you can actually hear their voices, so you can get started on the food right away if you have to fry it. So you really have to pay attention to that, along with the screen that also tells you what they order. And the manager that was trying to train me, he doesn't work there anymore. I think I outlasted him. um, because of some because of something that I'll talk about later.
Okay.
Um, so I yeah, so I worked that for that day, um, and I didn't get a break at all for my entire shift. It was 5 to 10. That's how long my shift was.
Ugh.
And I didn't get a break like I was supposed to my first day,
Oh wow.
um, which absolutely sucked. I wanted to punch someone by the end of it. um, but I was starting to get like a migraine and stuff from being back there. So I talked to the manager, and he talked to me for a little bit, and he said, "Okay, do more training videos, and we'll put you up front as a crewmate." Uh, and I said, "Okay." So I finished off the day doing the videos, and then I left. And then when I came back, um, he had me do the registers, which are the most irritating job you can have on the front crew besides the drive-through window. I wouldn't want to do the drive-through window.
Yeah.
um, but when I was doing, yeah, it would be stressful. But when I was up front doing the cashier stuff, uh, you have to be very precise, and there's a couple of things that they don't do right. Like there's two options for like chocolate that you can select for like custard and stuff like that, but only one way is the right way to do it. And if you do it another way, it's not the right way.
Hmm.
And right when you're done putting in like the ice cream stuff, you have to leave the register and go make it yourself. So that backs up the line even more.
Right.
Um, and to remind you, at most there's two people at a register, or just up front doing a register.
Right.
So there's only two people, and Culver's is just normally a busy place, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not a great process to do. Um, so they had that, and then after a while, they put me on something called Run, which was uh, when there's someone that sets the food, like everything they order, put on a tray, and then the runner would go run it out to either the car or just inside,
Yeah.
depending on where they ordered from and stuff. That job was fine. I didn't mind that job. It was the easiest job to do, and
That sounds
it was
better.
easy
Yeah.
way. It was an easy way to get steps in for the day. Yeah, it was good. And I don't know who thought it was a good idea, but one of the was just put me on that for like a solid month. Like that's all I did for like a solid month.
Huh.
And then they expected me to go right back to the registers after not being on them for like a month. So I kind of forgot a couple things, which wasn't my fault because they left me off it for like a month.
Right.
uh, and how like closing down the store is that we start closing down about 7 or 8 o'clock, like restocking like the sauces and the drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you see anyone come in, you have to stop what you're doing to go and solve them, which is fine. Uh, but this certain manager that shouldn't be named, he every time he saw you restocking stuff before like we close, he would be so mad because there's normally two people up front, and he was mad because one person left to go restock for close.
Oh.
It really made me mad. And okay, so two people from my school also applied for a job at Culver's the same a little after I did, and they got hired and everything, and they were so annoying. I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to hit them every time they walked in. And one of them was so lazy. So we had a 11:45 or something one day, and one of these kids came up to me saying, "Don't tell the boss that we have a 11:45, so we don't have to come in till our actual time." And I was like, "That's common sense. I wasn't going to do that anyways."
Right.
So there's only like one person that I liked at that job, and it wasn't anything like that or anything.
Yeah.
She was just cool to hang out with.
Right.
And she was like the only person that was actually nice at that job.
Right.
But one day in, and I find out that the kitchen is short staffed, mainly because one of the managers for the kitchen, that's like, I think at the time he was like 19 or 20, something like that, got fired because he came in and this manager that everyone has a problem with, apparently he cussed him out, and no, that wasn't him. He cussed him out, and then he got fired for that. So another manager went back there to do his job. Another time, I walked in, and in the kitchen they were short staffed again, and come to find out that someone that was back there threatened to kill this certain manager.
Oh.
And the cops were called, and I don't know if he got arrested or what, but that was all towards one manager.
Oh my.
And no one questions a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone hated him. Like there was one time I walked into work and people were complaining because one manager that's supposed to be back there, which he's a very nice guy. Uh, he normally does the kitchen more than up front.
Mm.
He says one thing which everyone gets and stuff, and then this one manager goes back there saying, "Oh, that's not right. That's not how you're supposed to do it, or you're supposed to do this or whatever." Uh, and he was back there for 2 seconds,
Mm.
and he's normally up front or just like on break or something. He doesn't seem like he does anything, to be honest.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Uh, and there was a couple times where he closed with us. There was a lot of times he closed with us. Um, and every time he would mop, he would do it the incorrect way.
Mm.
Like, do you know how to mop? Like, have you mopped before?
Kind of. Not really.
Well, well, how you're supposed to mop is you have this like cleaner and a mop bucket with like a mop head, and then this thing that squeezes the water and stuff off of it. This manager, I don't know how he was allowed to do this, but what he did was he stuck the mop in the bucket, and without like wiping it off or like squeezing the excess water off, he would get it out as fast as possible to spread the water as much as he can on the ground.
Oh no.
And that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's how you
No.
get mold. That's how you get mold
That's how you get
and
mold and
all
you
that
get
stuff.
people
And it
slipping and
doesn't
falling.
clean anything. Yes, and that's also how you just spread around the dot. You don't actually clean it up.
Yeah.
Um, that's how he mopped. And it was so freaking annoying. I wanted to go up to him saying he's doing it wrong. Uh, yeah. Um, but we had a remodel when I was walking. So we had a couple of days off, which was kind of nice. Um, but when we came back, it was not nice. It was actually inconvenient. We had less places to sit. We had this giant wall that was kind of blocking our view for uh, for some of the customers, so we couldn't see like who still needs food and stuff like that. Um, it just wasn't designed well. I don't think it looked nice though, but I don't think it was designed well. But but when I decided to stop working there, I went and told my boss, and well, I told someone else first, told another manager before I told someone else, and he was like, okay, he understood everything I had to say and stuff like that. Um, it was like, okay, you can have two weeks, and then you can be done then, which that's how you're supposed to do it anyways. After I told this one manager, he brought me back to the back room, and he was like, is there any way we could get you to stay? And in my mind, I was like, no, I am not I'm not dealing with your crap anymore.
Right.
Uh, but I was like, no, I have like school stuff that I need to do more important than this and all that stuff. Uh, and he was like, okay, you can just leave now, and tomorrow you can just bring back your clothes and you can be done. So he pretty much fired me for putting in my 2 weeks.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. And then we actually called the people above him because we found out after I quit, he was talking crap about me to everyone after I left.
I see.
So we called his boss,
Oh,
and I don't know if he got fired for a little bit or if he or what, but he wasn't there for a while,
mm,
and now he's back.
mm,
So I don't know what happened there,
yeah.
but awful place to work. I've I know a couple of people that worked at Culver's, and only one of them has the same experience I do.
Mm, that's unfortunate.
It sucks. Don't work at Culver's at all.
Yeah.
Really, the one that I worked at, like I will still go and eat there. The food is great,
Oh yeah, they have
but
delicious
the
food.
staff and everything there sucks. Oh yeah,
Mm,
great custard and chicken and all that. Like I'll still go back and eat, but I would not work there ever again. Um, but I keep seeing like advertising on like TikTok or
yeah.
Instagram or whatever about how it's such a great place to work at, and every time I see that, I want to go into like the comments and say,
Yeah.
"No, it's not. Don't work here."
That's funny.
It's so bad.
Right.
And like there was a time where I went to go get food, and literally in the bag it was a hiring slip saying go here to get a job. We start at like 15 an hour or
Oh
something like
wow.
that. And yeah, I'm like, it's a terrible place to work.
Yeah.
Like they are short staffed for a reason right now.
Right.
Like people get hired and then they quit very soon because
That's
they don't treat
that's
those
a
staff
very
well.
that's a common thing in fast food, I think. Um, it just kind of
Yeah,
happens a lot. So
yeah. And I will only miss one person there, and that's it.
yeah,
Everyone else sucked.
yeah, right.
And literally, one of my friends that worked there or applied and got a job there, um, he quit for a while, and then um, the manager he doesn't like anyone that quits. Like he doesn't. And then one of my friends came back to work there again, and he got hired and everything. And this one manager is in charge of doing the scheduling for the staff. He barely put him on. Like he was probably on a couple hours a week,
Oh wow.
and that was it. And that's with short staff too.
Yeah.
Like that's how petty this person is.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are just people are so petty
Yeah.
sometimes for ridiculous things. I mean, it's just like get over yourself. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my experience of like a month and a half, 2 months, just in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
don't work at Kova's at all. Don't. Just don't.
yeah. Well, since we're
I'm saving you.
I'm shaving your life. How to shave a life.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess since we're on the topic of jobs, um, I did DoorDash for a little bit. It was kind of cool. Um, I didn't say
It was
this. I
cool.
actually
So
didn't say
cool.
this in the Veloster Death episode, but I was coming back from door dashing when that happened. When the Veloster died. But
Yeah.
uh yeah, I
Yeah, and that's actually one of the times you invited me to come along with you. And I was like, no, I have something to
was
do
it
or something like that.
really? That's hilarious. I wa-
Yeah, I think that was like the only time.
I
You
wonder
invited me a couple of times, but
I
that was like the
wonder
first time.
if you being in the car would have changed, you know? Like or like what if the timing had just been slightly
I
different
don't
because
know.
I had to like wait on you to get to the car or something? or like you had to wait on me or something. I don't know.
Because
And
I have
then
to wait
like
on
then I
you.
wouldn't have been there at the exact
I don't
time that
know.
the deer decided to just.
Oh, so it's all my fault now.
No, it's not your fault. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, what if, you know? It's fine.
It's the timeline.
I made money off the car basically, so I can't complain. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, DoorDash, um, doing it
Uh,
it was all right. At first, it was like really fun and exciting. But it got so kind of monotonous, and you never knew when you were gonna get another order. That it was kind of like it got kind of boring, and like I started inviting like you to go and stuff because I just was so bored.
yeah,
I there it puts a
yeah, I
lot of
get that.
miles on your car, and you gotta pay for a lot more gas. um, the perk to it though is the pay. I mean, when I was down at school and doing
Yeah.
it, I didn't like spend as many hours doing it, but I was making like around $18 an hour doing it. So I was making good money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Where I'm from, not as much. It was probably more like 14, 15 an hour, but here, like where I
Hmm,
am,
that's not bad.
it's like
That's still pretty
I
good.
make good money, but I just was never. And the thing is that it's all self. Like you kind of like set your own schedule and stuff. And so I also like if I just wasn't feeling motivated,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. And then I was not getting
Yeah.
money, so it was like, uh
Don't.
oh, right. Well, and the problem was if you got stuck to a point where you had no money and no gas, you couldn't go make more money because you don't have gas to get the money.
Yeah.
So it was,
I w- I thought about this like earlier today. Like, what if gas gets more expensive and literally the only reason you will have a job is to pay for the gas to get to that job?
well, I think gas prices are going to keep going up because Biden is pushing for EVs so much. He wants like everybody to
Yeah.
have an
So
EV.
we're screwed.
He he wants by 2030 to have half of the all cars manufactured to be EVs. Um which is like
Yeah, I
that's not
honestly
realistic either, I don't think though.
I mean those Chevy, they're doing all electric stuff. The Mustang is doing all electric. Like, I hate the look of that, and
Yeah.
I think it's a dumb idea. I think Corvette is coming out with the electric one at some
Yeah.
point.
There's the
There's the electric Hummer.
here's
So
I made an
I think
argument.
it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, I actually made an argument, like an argumentative essay, um, for reasons why electric vehicles aren't a good idea, and like
Hmm.
there's quite a few, but in the long
I
run,
mean, there's a lot of materials that go into it.
well, there's a lot of materials. They're expensive to fix. They're expensive in general. Like the problem with
Yes.
EVs is that they've become such a luxury thing that people like people in like lower economic classes just can't afford them. Even use like cannot
Yeah,
afford them.
literally the
They are
starting price is like 100 plus thousand.
well, I mean, now the
For some
cheap
of them, it is.
okay for some of them, yeah, but like
The-
for the cheapest
yeah,
for like cheap EVs though, you're talking
yeah,
more than 35,000 for sure. And I could go and
yeah.
buy
I'm talking more like the brand new stuff that's
oh
coming
yeah,
out.
like the
I know
really
like
luxury
the
stuff,
Ford
yeah.
Lightning F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know like the Ford F-150 Lightning is coming out, and I think the base price was like 60 something maybe.
It's ridiculous. But
I
like
think that was like the very base.
yeah. I think that that will, if you like keep promoting EVs the way that people are, the wealth gap is going to get bigger, and that's not
Yeah.
good. And it's like it's not a
Yeah.
sustainable thing in the long run. Like they want EVs to like curb climate change, but it's not really a sustainable thing in the long run
It's
because
not.
the electricity it takes to do all
No.
that, like it's you're gaining electricity from burning fossil fuels. So you're essentially like doing the exact same thing that you'd be doing by driving a car. Now
Yeah.
hydrogen, this is in development. Hydrogen cars are extremely sustainable, way better. You get these hydrogen fuel
Hmm.
cells basically, and in order to make this like process happen or whatever, it's a whole lot cheaper. Well, not cheaper. It's a whole lot like climately safe. Like not doing the climate change stuff. The only problem is hydrogen cells are they're dangerous. Like you got to figure out how to keep them safe because if they explode, they explode. Um, but the reason that it's so sustainable is because hydrogen is like the most abundant element in the universe. You know, and they have made these things. It's just an issue of how do we harness this energy, keep it secure, keep it safe, um, and produce it at a cheap rate.
Yeah.
Because EVs in the long run, like if you look over time, like a timeline prediction or whatever, in the long run, they're gonna die off like even faster, like way faster than gasoline powered cars will. It's like they,
Yeah. Probably.
by 2050, they're not going to be reliable. So, but my whole thing about EVs is just
Yeah.
they're a temporary solution to a problem that shouldn't like it's that needs a better solution than that. So, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not, I understand
Yeah. I
why
think.
for EVs, but it's in the long run it's not a helpful thing. So,
Yeah. I think EVs. Some EVs are cool, but it's it's not gonna last, and they there's still problems. Like the tech isn't there at all. Uh, it's coming out too soon. I think there needs to be more research and study on how EV vehicles should work if they go into that direction.
yeah. Yeah, it's just a whole thing. I like I like
Yeah.
cars and stuff. I like there are even some EVs that are kind of cool, but the solution that EVs propose is not a viable solution in the long term. So,
Yes. And also, nothing beats the sound of an engine. Nothing beats it.
facts. It sounds so good, bro. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
EVs are just quiet. So
very.
I came out of church today, and uh, when I was coming out, there was a EV sedan or something beside me, and it sounded like it was gonna blow up. The way it was sounding,
Oh my.
it was like screaming for help.
It's like
It was literally like,
rip
yeah,
rip to all headphone users.
exactly. I was very concerned.
uh yeah.
I was very concerned.
Yeah. There's just something else, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You know what also
Yeah.
I said this.
It needs fixed. It needs to be done.
Yeah. I said this in like my argumentative like paper that I did. Like the fact that EVs, so own or if you own an EV, which like we said before, are like expensive. So you're in like middle upper class if you have an EV. Typically, that's not. I'm not trying to like, you know, you know. Typically, that's just the way it is. So the people that
Yeah.
get these
Probably on the
tax
low
breaks,
end of high.
yeah. So these people that get tax breaks for owning EVs, they already have a lot of money, and then you're making them have like even more money for these tax breaks when like the people that
Mhm.
have a lot of money aren't the ones that need the tax breaks. It's the people in the lower economic status
Yeah.
that need these tax breaks. And it's like you're just dividing the wealth gap even farther than like where it's already at, which it's not good right now. So that
Yeah. It's
that
pretty big.
frustrates me a lot. Like everything, it's all about money. Everything with these EVs, you know, like they're supposed to be the future and they're supposed to curb climate change and stuff. But like all these companies, Tesla, Ford, Chevy, even Porsche, and all those. I mean, everybody's making EVs now, and it's all about money. It's all about money,
Yeah.
and it's just like
That's literally life. Life is literally surrounded by
that's culture. I
money.
mean,
Like,
that's yeah,
yeah. And in my mind, it's the stupidest thing. Like,
right.
why define someone by how much money they have or what clothes they have on their back? Like, that's literally how we are defined in society right
Yeah,
now.
it's
And it's
terrible.
been that way for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just the way that people culturally view things, and it's just we live in a very material world where everybody has
Yes.
an individualistic attitude, and it's
Yeah.
like
Or
about
the
me.
latest small phone.
Look at me, look what I got, you know, like look how much money I have, like pay attention to
Yeah.
me. It's all about me, and it's just super
Yeah. It's all
unhealthy,
about me and what I've done and
super
who I
toxic.
screwed over to get this.
Right. Yeah, well, they don't tell you about that part. They keep that on the low because they want you to think that you're like just some amazing
Yeah.
person, and you're not.
Yeah. Some kind of saint or something like that.
We've been learning about saints in history of Christianity. That's funny. Yeah,
Oh
but
boy.
I guess that's it for this episode. So, like, comment,
Yeah.
subscribe.
And
EV
remember, don't
EV
look at
man.
Covos.
Yes, an EV manufacturer should definitely sponsor us. After I just hated on all of them, my bad. Oh well, sponsor us, EVs. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe.
We'll say something good if you sponsor us.
Yes, for sure. But we will see you all later. Deuces.
Peace.